Now, when you're ready to start working with a student, the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to pull them down into one of your breakout rooms. Now, when they enter your breakout room, they're going to find your welcome slide. Now, on your welcome slide, you're going to want to include some key information that you're going to need to be able to put on your attendance spreadsheet, as well as some information that's going to help you be able to help the student. So let's go ahead and take a look at my welcome slide. So if we pop into my room here, as you can see, this is looking wonderful as usual. Well, at least in my mind. But let me point out some key things that you're going to want to include on your welcome slide. Now remember, your welcome slide needs to be your own. You want to make it whatever you feel most comfortable with. But there are some things that you're going to want to include that's going to be helpful for you. All right? First thing, first and last name. Obviously something that you're going to want to know, but it's helpful because sometimes students will sign out before you get all of their information into your attendance spreadsheet and you're like, oh yeah, what was their name? Well, as long as you get them to write it down, you can go back up, find it, and easily input it into your attendance spreadsheet. Same thing with grade. We just want to make sure that they're putting in the right one that they told you that they put in the survey and get rid of all those little discrepancies there. Another thing that you're going to want to include is their math book or their math course. They may be more familiar hearing it as their math class that they take, but it's the math book that they use. And if they're unsure, you can always just have them look at the cover of their math book and that will tell you. Now, I abbreviated mine as Math A, B, and C. This really just stands for Intermediate Mathematics, and then there's three different courses, A, B, and C. I also included Fundamentals, which is short for Fundamentals of Algebra and Geometry, and Math Yellow. These are the ones that I see most frequently in the 6-7 room, the room that I work in. And in the 8-9-10 room, you may see a little bit more advanced ones as well as things like pre-algebra and a lot more Math C in there. But it's helpful to have those. And of course, if they don't know what they are or if they have a different one, then they can just write it in somewhere else or they can just tell you. The other thing that you're going to want to include is a unit and lesson number. This goes along with their OLS course, and this helps us to keep track of the different topics that students are working on. If their question is from a book, it's helpful to ask for the page number. This goes into your attendance spreadsheet, but also helps you find the problem in your book, especially because some students don't know how to take screenshots and put them on the board, or they're unable to. It's also helpful to know the problem that you're working on. This isn't something that goes in your attendance spreadsheet, but it's something good for you to know so that way you don't have to constantly ask them, what question is this? What problem number are we on? If they put it on the board, it's there. All you have to do is refer back to it. Now, if their question is not from the book, it may come from Study Island or possibly from USA Test Prep. So it's a good idea to put the Study Island topic out there or the USA Test Prep topic because this is something that you're going to have to include in your attendance spreadsheet. It's the math topic that you worked on with that student. Now, a majority of your welcome slide needs to be an open space where they can take a screenshot of their problem and put it on the board. This is also a place where you can work out that problem with the student. Now, if you need more room, then all you have to do is go up and insert a new page, and it will give you a clear blank page that you can work the problem out on. That's not something that you necessarily have to add in to your welcome slide because it's a feature in Blackboard that you can just easily add in, add different backgrounds to it, do whatever you like to it. Now we'll get into a little bit more detail about how to create your welcome slide in a later video. This is just to give you the information of things that you might want to include in there. Another good thing that you might want to include, of course, is your name, so that way the student knows who they're working with because sometimes they forget to look at your name in the box. You can also include a picture or clip art or whatever you want to do, totally up to you. Another thing that I would suggest including on other slides is possibly a slide of how does that student feel. So that way, once you're done with the session, you can always just flip to this and just see how they're feeling about the topic that you work on. Do they understand everything? Do they kind of get it? Or do they still not understand it at all? And this will help you either provide additional resources or go back and look at another problem and perhaps do some more reteaching. Another thing that could be helpful is a couple links. Maybe links to the whiteboard tools. If they're brand new to K-12, then they might not exactly know how to use everything. So we have some videos that are out there to help us, which is found in our resource section, which again will be in a different video. There's also the snipping tool. This is an option that some Windows computers have that allows students to take screenshots of the problem. We also have a tool in Blackboard that helps us to do that, which is another thing that you could let the student know. But just keep in mind that whatever you do choose for your welcome slide, make it your own. This is what the students are going to see. So you want to make sure that they get all the information that you're going to need from them, and they also have adequate space to work over stuff.